In the Sarnia area, there is a growing number of vacant farm lots. They have no markers and no signage, and that is a problem, especially for 911 responders. Farmers in Lambton County are sounding the alarm, pushing for more 911 addressing. George Dickenson is the chair of the Lambton Farm Safety Association. He's also the owner of Perch Lane Farms in Sarnia. Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good, George. What's your main concern about the lack of signage?
Well, the main concern is if there's an emergency on the property, like the way that a 911 responder gets there is by the address you give. And if you don't have an address or a sign on the property, then that's going to cause delay coming, whether it be for an accident, a fire, or a medical emergency. And we all know that in that instances, time is of the essence. So,
well, speaking of time, what issues have you and members encountered that really brought this to light? Like, I realize that I think you had an issue obtaining a number for land that you own because it was between two houses?
That's correct. We have a farm that, when they first issued the 911 signs, we had a farm that there's two houses on, but there's no house on that one. And when I called and asked about getting a number for it, she said, well, we're only giving them where there's houses. And when I explained to her, well, what happens in a medical emergency, if I say it's at lot 10, concession 2, is the 911 dispatch going to know where that is? And she said, no, it's not. So she said, you're correct. We do need to get a sign. And she issued me one. So that was a few years ago. And that some of the other signs that happen, different things have happened. If a house was severed off of the farm, for example, then the house would have the 911 number, but the farm will not. Or some of them, they may have had a number, but as equipment gets bigger and whatnot else, over time, they could have got knocked off by a piece of equipment or a snowplow or whatever. So we're just wanting to freshen things up to make sure every property has a number so that it doesn't delay. The first responders is the most important thing, but it also does work into situations where service people are coming, where they're coming to service our equipment, or if we're ordering like a custom sprayer to come in and do a farm. We have to give them we want to give them the 911 so there's no mix-ups, because if he sprays the wrong farm, that could be disastrous. So
it seems like the Lambton Farm Safety Association, which, George, you're the chair of, is looking for maintenance right now and ensuring that there's some upkeep here when it comes to identifying vacant lots. But have you heard from any first responders regarding any of their concerns regarding the lack of signage?
So far, we haven't. We're trying to be proactive on this. I know it has been some service industries have made the comment about it hard to get there. Hopefully, we're trying to be proactive. You don't want to do it after there's been a major problem. If we can recognize it first, then we can get it done. And it works between the municipalities and the landowners. So, we're suggesting maybe they put something in their tax bills or whatever, a reminder, if you don't have a 911 sign, please contact our office. But it may take, more than that when maintenance crews are out.
George, what's the current process in place when identifying and locating vacant or large pieces of farmland? Like, what does that look like if you're trying to tell someone where you are currently?
The way I do it is, I'm south of road number 1 or whatever, and I'm on on such and such side road and between these two roads, or that's about all you can do. And on the west or east side of the road, or it's really hard because we've developed a system which works very well as a 911 system. We're fortunate here. I think most of them, it takes not a lot to assign a number to a property. When we're in some of the places, more remote places up north or whatnot, that's might be more of a challenge. But here, at hunt camp or something like that. But here, it's not hard for them to assign a number and get a sign and put it up. But it's just making sure it gets done.
George, you mentioned the proactive approach that you and the association are taking to really get the municipality in thinking about doing this. This was inspired by the Emily Project. Do you want to quickly give us a rundown as to what the Emily Project was all about?
Yes, the Emily Project was in 2014. There was a young girl in Hastings County that lost her life because exactly what we're talking about. The first responders were not able to locate her in time to have saved her, and they feel like if they could have got there earlier, they may have been able to save this young girl's life. So Hastings Federation of Agriculture, Frontenac, and a couple other ones, the neighboring ones, along with the OFA, developed the Emily Project, which is a push to get 911 signs on every property.
What does the Lambton Farm Safety Association have planned to really work with the municipality to get this going?
Well, that's our main thing, was to try and get everybody aware and get it going. That's the thing. I mean, if we can get the word out, this is obviously helping because we're, anywhere we can get the word out, then it recognizes, farmers can recognize too, oh yeah, that I don't have a sign on the old Clunder farm or whatever. And nobody knows what the old Clunder farm is anymore. And so, yeah, it's just trying to get the word out and everybody working together. Us as an association, we're a small group, so we try to identify problems and educate people, and hopefully between the municipalities and the landowners, we can get this looked after. I know one rep on our board, he's from Plimpton, Wyoming. Well, they realized some of their property that they own didn't have signs such as cemeteries and whatnot else. So, somebody could be at a cemetery and be overcome and have a medical emergency. And if you don't have a number, it's hard to get somebody there. So it's just education, trying to get the word out and everybody working together.
Excellent. Well, George, thanks so much for the time. We definitely appreciate it, and best of luck with your efforts.
Thanks so much for helping us spread the word now. Have a good day.
You too. George Dickenson is the chair of the Lambton Farm Safety Association. He's also the owner of Perch Lane Farms in Sarnia.